for 4 years, and this is the first passenger I've had on a motorbike, and it's a freaking sheep. How you doing? Sometimes it wants to get off, sometimes it wants to get on. I don't know. It's just a freaking toddler. Still got its long tail, so it's a bit on the young side. But I'm moving along just fine. Got the sheep out there that I'm pushing. Not you too. I don't have enough room for everyone. We could start to fall off a bit. Come here, you. Run along with your friends. That's too funny. Still laying down. It's a little tight up here now. Get up. You're almost there. Run, little guy, run. There are only two things on this station slower than me. The tractor and whoever is driving the trailer around. They never strap it on right, so it drives stupidly slow. Hi. Oh, that is not a place to be, pal. Oh, crutching season is over. It got really bad towards the end. There's a lot of drama happening between us, like with the contractors, and the crutcher crew. And there may or may not be a lawsuit in the future. They're just a negative bunch of people, and lots of rude comments and stuff to me in particular, because I'm the backpacker here from a different country. So I was the main target. It escalated for me. The peak was when 3 of them ganged up on me and zapped me several times with cattle prodders, which I learned later on is actually a form of assault here in Australia, and you can press charges for it. Now, I'm a patient man, and plus, the last thing I need here, 500,000 miles away from home, that's just a guess, I don't know how far I am from home, is a lawsuit and everything that goes with it. So there was the day before the last day they were here, our entire crew went on strike. We said we would not work with them. There was one guy in particular who was the biggest bully, and so we said we wouldn't work with him. And then the other 2 crutchers said they would not crutch if the guy in question was not there. So they made a counter-strike, and we all ended up working together. Towards the beginning, the very first thing they played on their speaker is Snitches Are Rats, some rap song. I told my boss on the Big Bully how, because he prodded me again later on. It was the day we tried to go on strike. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So he called me a snitch, basically, with that song. He called me out for it. But about lunchtime, he waved me over, and we talked it through, set aside our differences. My thing, which this is the first example of it not being a good thing, is I don't like it when people hate me, and I will do whatever I can to fix that, to make everyone like me. So I told him I would not press charges if he handed the lambs to me, because they're lambs that had yet to be marked, and they would just, like, as soon as they crushed them, they just leave them there without calling out lamb or anything. But what they're supposed to do is call out lamb and then hand them to you, because they're up in a trailer and you have to, like, jump up there and grab them and stuff. So I told him I wouldn't press charges if he handed me the lambs, and he did just that for the rest of the day. So did the other two guys, because at the beginning of the morning, they were pushing the lambs as far away from me as possible. When any of the other workers went up to get lambs after our little talk, they treated them the same way. Just kept the lambs as far away as possible and whatnot. They are the most negative people I've ever encountered and probably ever will encounter, and hopefully karma catches up with them, because it is not good, that behavior. They had me come over for a beer, although at that point, it being the end of crutching season, I had drunk a lot leading up to that point after dinner. So, I mean, they didn't give me a beer anyways, that's fine, but we talked for a while late into the night, and then they left the next morning. They took deodorant and sprayed like a big W on the flat screen TV here in the quarters, because this is where they were living in the quarters. This is where I started, not in this particular room. The room that I was in was inhabited by a chain smoker. He was 59 years old, just super alcoholic. I mean, he started drinking at 11 in the morning. I mean, it was bad, and it just reeks of cigarettes in there right now. They're charging them a cleaning fee for that room. So I've moved up a bit to the very first room, and you see that little blue thing right there? It's a little thing called Starlink. That got installed last week. Pretty fast, not as fast as I expected. Being out in the cottage this whole time where I was during crutching season, no internet there. Even after Starlink went, it was still in the dead zone. So I've moved back into this room. I just finished a few minutes ago, or as I started this video. I've got things a lot more organized, and I got a double mattress this time. It is two mattresses, two twin mattresses, but and there's gonna be a bit of a rough gap in between, but I'll be able to sprawl out just a little bit more. The sheets don't even make it all the way across, as you can see. But I've got things all cleaned up and organized. There's only a few of us here right now. 2 of them are gonna leave on Tuesday, and then tonight we're getting 3, I think. So once all the other contractors and stuff have left, it'll just be me, Callum, who's been here for 10 months as a station hand, Peter, who came in for crutching season as a station hand, and a kid named Jake. Now, speaking of kids, part of this crutching crew was a 16-year-old. I thought he was 14 for the longest time, and he drank this stuff all the time. Tennessee whiskey, Jack Daniels, cola. The cook that we had, they made her quit. They just came in so rude, and then the kid in particular with the Jack Daniels, he was kicked out for underage drinking at the cookhouse, and the boss man, he just thought the food was absolute garbage. And just a rude, rowdy group of people. We started eating out at the boss's house. His wife cooked for us for a bit. And then we got a new cook. She put up with the crutchers a bit longer, but the boss said straight to her face that her food was, yeah, it was pretty bad. She left as well. So then it went back to my boss's wife cooking for us. She's still doing that now, but now there's only a handful of us. She can manage it. Despite the sabotaging that they did with stuff, I mean, they also took most of the dishes out of the kitchen here in the quarters and dumped them behind a tree, breaking them and stuff over by the dump. They did that, and there's probably some more stuff that we haven't discovered yet. As long as the bottles are sealed, like this one was, left over in the fridge, then I'm going to consume it. There's a 6-pack, half of a 6-pack of a different type of beer, and 1 more of these. These are pretty good. So all is well on the Western Front. That's my update.